GTA 6 is being delayed, and this honestly might be one of the most surprising situations I've seen in a while. And for those of you with even half of a brain, it's of course not very surprising that GTA 6 is being delayed, but instead, people's responses to this situation, which I really just can't begin to even understand. I refuse to believe that there were people who genuinely thought that GTA 6 would be releasing really anytime this year at all, and even just zooming out for a second and looking at the situation, if we were really this close to GTA 6's release, we would have 100% already gotten more information on the game, whether that been through teasers, trailers, pricing, or literally anything else, but it's been pretty much radio silent since the first original trailer released over a year ago. But before we get too ahead of ourselves here, Rockstar did post their official statement regarding GTA 6's delay and also pretty much confirming their next allegedly guaranteed release date, so we're gonna be taking a look at that now. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26th, 2026. We are very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. So, after reading the response itself, there's nothing really special there. They pretty much covered all the points that they needed to, and going back to what I said earlier, at least for me, and what really should have been everyone else, them releasing something like this really isn't surprising at all. Because like I said, it's been over a year since we've heard anything from them regarding GTA 6 whatsoever, so it's just really hard for me to wrap my head around how the community is so split on this, with there of course being a ton of people that I think actually have brains because they saw this coming from a mile away and they're not really upset by this at all. It's just what they expected. And then there's the other crowd of people that are just insanely angry. They feel like they've been blindsided, bamboozled, and played, and are pretty much at the point where they're ready to storm the streets and protest over the fact that GTA 6 is of course being delayed. And to be fair, of course not to the extent of getting ready to just lose your shit and break everything, but I do understand being a bit upset by this information because a ton of people, including of course me, have been waiting for GTA 6 for quite some time, and it's not like I'm one of the people that have been actively waiting, it's just I know it's coming out in the back of my head, and once it releases, but there were a lot of people that were really hyped up and playing on the idea that it was gonna actually be releasing this year. So I definitely kind of can understand some people's frustration, but if anything, that's kind of all the more reason to be fine with this delay and fine with giving them more time, because if you're someone that really cares about the game that much, you should really be fine with them delaying a game, because we've been through this time and time again, especially within the last 5 years of games just pretty much either releasing or basically being forced to release by shareholders and investors in a completely unfinished, almost unplayable state, and that's a good time for literally no one. It's not a good time for the developers or creators of the game because everyone's just trashing on their game, it's getting negative reviews, and it's not gonna sell as well, and it's not fun for the players either, obviously, because they're getting an unfinished piece of garbage product that most of the time didn't even have to be that way if they just got more time to work on it. And as much as it pains me to say this, especially since I didn't really have many problems with the game on release, even with a garbage computer, but Cyberpunk is a great example of that. If they were just given even a year more to work on that game, it would have released in pretty much honestly a flawless state, because a year after the game was released, they of course were working on it still the entire time, and the difference between launch and a year later is literally like night and day. All the way from core gameplay mechanics to, of course, just straight up optimization, visual fidelity, and everything else surrounding that. So it's not like we don't know the value of delaying a game and giving the devs a bit more time to polish it. And going a bit back to people being surprised about it even being delayed in the first place, all you really needed to do was a simple search of Rockstar's background on releasing games to figure out that basically every major launch that they've had since GTA 3 have all been delayed by some amount of time, whether that be 2 weeks or multiple years. And if I'm being 100% realistic here, I don't really want to be the Debbie Downer or anything like that, but I'm obviously not wishing that it happens or anything, but I'm just gonna say now that I wouldn't be surprised at all if coming up on the next release date, we hear some more news from them that it's gonna be delayed yet again. But the one thing about that is I do feel like the date that they selected for its release is a bit more intentional, and they do genuinely plan on releasing it on that specific date, because it's like May 26th, 2026 with GTA 6. It definitely does seem like they intentionally chose that as their ideal release date, and if anything, they might have even been able to release it a bit before then, but they instead just wanted to release it on that specific day so it can have a bit more of, I guess, what you would call a ring to it, but not a ring in the sense that it's like easy to pronounce, but instead in the way of it just sounds right together. GTA 6 on May 26, 2026. That's a lot of sixes. Wait a minute, now that I think of it, that's 3 6s. 666, oh no! But seriously, like I said though, I really wouldn't be surprised if it does get delayed again, but if it actually does, I doubt it'll be this long. It'll probably only be something like 3 months for the next delay, if it does happen. Because another thing that people really seem to be forgetting is how massive of a release this game is actually gonna be. It's not like this is some random company just delaying some knock-around game that you're gonna play for maybe 10 hours and then forget it ever even existed. This is, of course, Rockstar releasing what's supposed to be the successor of GTA 5, the game that I don't know if you guys have forgotten, but people have been playing for over 10 years. I think it's actually coming up on like 13 now. I remember playing GTA 5 when I was in the 5th grade in elementary school. Now I'm a fully grown adult, so saying, especially if they get it right, that GTA 6 is going to be a generational game might honestly even be an understatement. So I have absolutely no issue with them taking their sweet time to release this game, as long as they're genuinely working on it, because there's a high chance that this might just be the GTA that people will be playing for, who knows, maybe the next 2 decades. Which means, if you're 21 right now, for example, GTA 6 will still be the most up-to-date and recent GTA game when you're 41. Also, one last potential positive of them releasing it later, which I kinda saved for the end since it is kind of a shot in the dark, a bit of a Hail Mary, but maybe with them delaying the game, especially as long as they are, pretty much a year, they hopefully might just be able to release GTA 6 on the PC at the same time they'll release it on the console, which a lot of people aren't talking about this, but I think it's absolutely unacceptable for them to be that far apart. And by that far apart, I don't think there were any official dates or anything, but I think PC release was looking to be about a year or 2 after console, which, like I said before, is just absolutely unacceptable. I know they did the same thing for GTA 5, but you have to remember, like I keep saying, how old that game was. That was in a completely different era when majority of players, even the YouTubers and everything, were playing on console. Really, the only time a lot of them were playing on PC is to play games that you straight up just couldn't play on a console. But today, it's much different. Basically, everyone that plays games plays on PC, and most of the people that aren't already on PC usually want a PC. They're usually watching videos and asking different people a bunch of different questions about PC because they want to get into it. So I feel like not releasing it on PC at the same time as console is really a huge mistake on their part, because that cuts out a huge portion of the market. And I know, of course, there will be people that just straight up buy the console solely to play GTA 6 on it, but for the majority of people, they don't have the money to just already be on PC and then just drop $500-600 on a console to play a game that they're also reasonably gonna have to spend another $100 on. But I guess all we can do at this point is wait to see what they're gonna say next, see if they're gonna stay true to this release date, and see if we can finally get some more information on the game. ideally in the form of another trailer. I'd also love to hear from you guys in the comments on what you think of this delay, and really, if you think that it's gonna be delayed again or not. If you also made it this far in the video, you probably liked something, so you may as well drop a like and a subscribe, and if you don't, you might not be around to play GTA 6. But with that said, I'm not gonna hold y'all for too long, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you made it this far, this is the super special outro. I'm only adding this part because I didn't want the video to end at 9 minutes and 57 seconds.